Let's explore Pho'wa and then meditate. This is Lama Jigme Gyatso of the Buddha Joy Meditation School. Welcome to Meditate Like a Jedi, which is brought to you by the kind-hearted folk who help support this channel on Patreon. This evening, we could chant and meditate and enjoy a lesson or two. But first, if you love Star Wars and you wish to meditate as transformatively as Obi-Wan Kenobi upon Tatooine, be sure to subscribe. I'm sorry, Obi-Wan Kenobi? Obi-Wan Kenobi upon Tatooine under the guidance of Qui-Gon Jinn. Be sure to subscribe and ring that notification bell. Good news. If at any point at all during this evening's live stream, you have a specific question about Buddhist meditation, Buddhist philosophy, or how to apply them to your life, simply type that question in great detail in the chat window on the right-hand side of the screen. If all goes well, towards the final quarter of this evening's practice, we'll come to this point in the text. Pho'wa, transference of consciousness. And transference of consciousness is a very erudite way of saying taking an auspicious rebirth. In Buddhism, and within any human endeavor, the people who are defined by being flexible, loving, laid-back, egalitarian, kind, and cooperative are soft-spoken and gentle and cannot be heard over the din of the screeching of those who are rigid, fearful, controlling, elitist, competitive, and cruel. So these really the fearmongers will stomp around, threatening you with inauspicious rebirth. There may be such a thing, there might not. But whether there is or is not, they're going to frighten you and use that fear to manipulate you. And one of the things they do to convince you you can take an auspicious rebirth is help you to mentally rehearse your subtle mind. You're shooting up your central channel, out your crown, and into an auspicious destination at the end of your life. Now, if that works, great. But what if there are no multiple lives? Remember, the Buddha taught that the fringe benefit of training an empathy and love and compassion is auspicious rebirth. So practice the Buddhist path. Allow meditation to unchain the potential of your empathy. And everything will work out in this life and the next, if there is such a thing. And yet, the trope of an energetic, dramatic transference of consciousness has persisted. And it has been applied to many other things. For instance, when we feel overwhelmed or hysterical or scattered, this technique of Pho'wa has been used to give us a moment of clarity, a mental margarita, if you will. Pho'wa is the first half of the two exercise practice known as Cho, where first you rehearse your moment of death, leaving your body, and then you mentally rehearse as an enlightened entity returning to your fetid cadaver, magically purifying it of all nastiness, transforming it into awesome blissfulness, and then multiplying it into a vast amount of awesomeness, and then using it to feed all others, all the beings of nirvana, all the enlightened and powerful beings, all the beings of samsara, all the downtrodden and the clueless and the confused, all beings everywhere. Now, that second can be a wonderful way of, so these two together, the rehearsal of death can help us let go and leapfrog over our clinging tendencies. The imaginary act of transforming, purifying and transforming and increasing our body and giving it away to all beings everywhere beneficially can help us leapfrog over our competitive tendencies, our selfish tendencies. And that's fine and dandy. Let's look at this energetically. Pho'wa is a great way of bringing your energy to your crown. Cho is a great way of bringing energy back to your heart. Lamas of each sect, once you can dissuade them from throwing cow patties at each other, have the same tools. They just use them in different sequence and with different names or labels. So when you practice Tantra, you'll notice a reoccurring theme, that some exercises will bring your energy to your crown, some exercises will bring your energy to your heart. They're both useful for different purposes. For instance, most tantric sadhanas begin with a variation of the idea of calling the Lama from afar. Doing so helps to gather your subtle energy or crown before your first silent meditation. Let's explore the verbiage. So the basic image is this. The Dharma practitioner is male or female or any intersex permutation there might be. The archetype of the ultimate Dharma practitioner is seen here as a fellow, real or imagined, known as Padmasambhava or Pimajungne, if you prefer Tibetan. And that's this fellow right here. Above his head is the Buddha Amitabha. If thought of the Buddha of limitless light, thought of as the Buddha of auspicious rebirth by many members of Mahayana Buddhism. The location of the Buddha, real or imagined, helps the practitioner to bring their energy, however tumultuous it might be, to a place at the crown of the head or above, which helps them to let go of their clinging tendencies. The invocation we play with is as follows. I pray to the protector, Amitabha. Aha, look at that. I pray to the protector, Amitabha, this fellow here, the red fellow. Bless me that I may master the profound path of Pho'wa. And a very famous yogi in Tibet, who was not a scholar but a yogi, and who had these great flashes of insights that some people would call sky treasures. It was as if they pulled a teaching out of the air. And what he taught was to use two syllables, the ah, which is gentle, and the pe, which is harsh, and then blend it with a snap. And so, I don't know if you're an old guy like me, but if you are, you may remember Welcome Back, Kotter, where Arnold Horshack would raise his hand over his head and go, oh, 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 because he was enthusiastic to answer the question. Anywho, instead of going, oh, 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 like Arnold Horshack, we snap our hands. So this is how it would look like and sound like. I pray to thee, protector Amitabha, bless me that I may master the profound path of Pho'wa. And then you'd sit and enjoy and relax into the nature of mind. As we see described here, and as we inhale, we would silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this. And as we exhale, we would silently and mentally recite the 3-syllable verb relaxing. We might sit there for 10 minutes or 15 minutes or 20 minutes and then move on. And this can be lovely. Every good Lama uses this to help folks who want his help when they're having hysterics. I call it a Lama trick, but it's a good one. One moment. Let's see here. So I'm going to tap button, I think it's 9. And we're going to start tonight's practice text. Welcome to the latest iteration of Chogdu Tulku's translation of Dudjom Lingpa's concise Ngondro. There have been many Dudjoms in Tibet. This is not what's his son's name? This is not Jigdrol. This is Lingpa. Jigdrol took a very simple text and made it more complicated. And this reminds me, of course, of what Einstein said. An educated idiot can make things more complicated, more difficult, and more violent. But it takes a lot of courage and a little bit of genius to move in the opposite direction. So Lingpa took a very large, ungainly, difficult practice and made it easy. And I've done my best to make it more accessible for Westerners. Therefore, I've adapted it and amplified it to the best of my ability. Let us begin by contemplating the 4 thoughts that turn the mind to the teachings, beginning with calling the Lama from afar, or as it's known in Tibet, as Lama Kyano. Almajo Lama, infallible constant protector who knows all Dharma things. We come now to our precious human life. What's so precious about it? People might convince us that we're worthless and our lives are worthless. But if we have our faculties and we have this opportunity to practice the Dharma, then that is huge. And that is precious. And that can help us to go from being a burden to others to an asset to others. Let's chant. It is extremely difficult to find such freedoms and opportunities as we have. We come now to impermanence and causality. Being impermanent, everyone who was born will die. The results of our virtue with sin harmful actions are inevitable. My next TikTok will explore impermanence in greater depth. Let us turn our attention to the subject of stress. The three realms we experience as samsara are like an ocean of suffering. Suffering is a constant. It is not an indictment. So, after all that recitation, our conclusion, our supplication is as follows. Remembering this, may my mind turn toward Dharma. This brings us to Treksho, our first silent meditation of this evening, where we will mindfully watch the play of awareness and meditatively relax into its empty nature. Thus, slicing through hating's obstructing emotions. That says hating, but that was an error. There we go, clingings. The slicing through clingings obstructing emotions. This exercise is also known as Tantra Mahamudra. Wow, is also known as Sutra Mahamudra. Great completion stage. Dzogchen or Ati Yoga. And just like I mentioned during the lesson, as we breathe in, let us silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this, and as we exhale, let's silently and mentally recite the three-syllable verb relaxing. Let us now train in right enthusiasm's sixth fold of taking refuge. From now until I reach a very heart of enlightenment, I take refuge in the Lama who embodies the three jewels. From now until I reach a very heart of enlightenment, I take refuge in the Lama who embodies the three jewels. From now until I reach the very heart of enlightenment, I take refuge in the Lama who embodies the three jewels. From now until I reach the very heart of enlightenment, I take refuge in the Lama who embodies the three jewels. From now until I reach the very heart of enlightenment, I take refuge in the Lama who embodies the three jewels. From now until I reach the very heart of enlightenment, I take refuge in the Lama who embodies the three jewels. From now until I reach the very heart of enlightenment, I take refuge in the Lama who embodies the three jewels. From now until I reach the very heart of enlightenment, I take refuge in the Lama who embodies the three jewels. Let us now cultivate greater empathy through the recitation of bodhicitta. From now until samsara Dita will bring about benefit and happiness for all beings who have been my mothers. From now until samsara Dita will bring about benefit and happiness for all beings who have been my mothers. From now until samsara Dita will bring about benefit and happiness for all beings who have been my mothers. From now until samsara Dita will bring about benefit and happiness for all beings who have been my mothers. Now it's time for the Dujum-inspired mandala offering. To perfect the two accumulations, I offer the body's wealth and splendor of all my lives to the three jewels. To perfect the two accumulations, I offer the body's wealth and splendor of all my lives to the three jewels. To perfect the two accumulations, I offer the body's wealth and splendor of all my lives to the three jewels. To perfect the two accumulations, I offer the body's wealth and splendor of all my lives to the three jewels. We return to Right View's first fold through Tokal, the first set of tantric figurative contemplations or mantra meditations, bringing the four bases of mindfulness into the path of letting go, thus leaping over clingings, obstructions to omniscience. Let's see here. Doshi Sampa inseparable from my Lama is above the crown of my head. Nectar flows from him, purifying my obscurations. As we relax into our exhalation, whatever we notice during our previous inhalation could feel is not graspable as our fastum devoid. Like the illusion of the infinite azure sky on a beautiful cloudless morn, which so compelling to the eye is not graspable to the hand. We come to the first version's leap over circumstantial clinging. How is it that as we inhale all circumstances or lots could appear quite vivid, yet as we relax into our exhalation they could feel as not graspable as a real or imagined paradise or body of light? Om Vajrasattva Hum, Om Vajrasattva Hum, Om Vajrasattva Hum, Om Vajrasattva Hum. Om Vajrasattva Hum, Om Vajrasattva Hum, Om Vajrasattva Hum, Om Vajrasattva Hum. Om Vajrasattva Hum, Om Vajrasattva Hum, Om Vajrasattva Hum, Om Vajrasattva Hum. Om Vajrasattva Hum, Om Vajrasattva Hum, Om Vajrasattva Hum, Om Vajrasattva Hum. How is it that as we inhale our bodies, our forms could feel quite sensual, yet as we relax into our exhalation they could feel as not graspable as a real or imagined archetype or atom of light? Om Vajrasattva Hum, Om Vajrasattva Hum, Om Vajrasattva Hum, Om Vajrasattva Hum. Om Vajrasattva Hum, Om Vajrasattva Hum, Om Vajrasattva Hum, Om Vajrasattva Hum. Om Vajrasattva Hum, Om Vajrasattva Hum, Om Vajrasattva Hum, Om Vajrasattva Hum. Om Vajrasattva Hum, Om Vajrasattva Hum, Om Vajrasattva Hum, Om Vajrasattva Hum. How is it that as we inhale the interpersonal experience of communication or speech could be quite resounding, yet as we relax into our exhalation it could feel as non-graspable as a real or imagined mantra of light? Om Vajra Sarva Hum, Om Vajra Sarva Hum, Om Vajra Sarva Hum, Om Vajra Sarva Hum. Om Vajra Sarva Hum, Om Vajra Sarva Hum, Om Vajra Sarva Hum, Om Vajra Sarva Hum. Om Vajra Sarva Hum, Om Vajra Sarva Hum, Om Vajra Sarva Hum, Om Vajra Sarva Hum. Om Vajra Sarva Hum, Om Vajra Sarva Hum, Om Vajra Sarva Hum, Om Vajra Sarva Hum. How is it that as we inhale we could perceive all men's functions quite clearly, yet as we relax into our exhalation they could feel as non-graspable as a real or imagined seed-suitable hum of light? Om Vajra Sarva Hum, Om Vajra Sarva Hum, Om Vajra Sarva Hum, Om Vajra Sarva Hum. Om Vajra Sarva Hum, Om Vajra Sarva Hum, Om Vajra Sarva Hum, Om Vajra Sarva Hum. Om Vajra Sarva Hum, Om Vajra Sarva Hum, Om Vajra Sarva Hum, Om Vajra Sarva Hum. Om Vajra Sarva Hum, Om Vajra Sarva Hum, Om Vajra Sarva Hum, Om Vajra Sarva Hum. Dissolving into light, they blend with me an experience of oneness, which foreshadows the meditations to come. I am like Dorje Naljor in the sky in front of me, in front of me. My root Lama appears in the form of Padmakara. Embodiment of all Buddhas of the three types, most excellent root Lama, I pray to you. Hold me with your compassion in this and future lives, and in the Bardo bless me always throughout the three times. We now come to Tokal's second set of tantric figurative contemplation, bringing the four bases of mindfulness into the path of love, thus leaping over hate's obstructions to omniscience, or competition's obstructions to omniscience. Let us leap over our circumstantial hatred. May all circumstances or lots of all beings know have their safety, good fortune, or boon. As a Buddha's real or imagined paradise, pure land of Vati. Om Mahum Vajra Guru Manmaziri Hum. 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 Let me see something real quick. Yeah, let's keep it this way. Om Mahum Vajra Guru Manmaziri Hum. 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 Om Ahum Vajra Guru Manmaziri Hum. Om Mahum 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 Vajra Guru Manmaziri Hum. May all the bodies of all beings know and show the beautiful, healthy, depicted in Buddhist thought of the blissful body of a yidam of lore and archetype of enlightenment. Om Mahum Vajra Guru Manmaziri Hum. 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 Om Ahum Vajra Guru Manmaziri Hum. Om Mahum Vajra Guru Manmaziri Hum. Om Mahum Vajra Guru Manmaziri Hum. Om Ahum Vajra Guru Manmaziri Hum. Om Mahum Vajra Guru Manmaziri Hum. Neurology that accompanies both phases of breathing can help. May all relationships of all beings know be as loving and joyful as a real or imagined Buddhist communication symbolized by this 12-syllable mantra. Om Mahum Vajra Guru Manma Siddhi Hum 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 Om Ahum Vajra Guru Manma Siddhi Hum Om Mahum Vajra Guru Manma Siddhi Hum Om Mahum Vajra Guru Manma Siddhi Hum Om Mahum Vajra Guru Manma Siddhi Hum Om Ahum Vajra Guru Manma Siddhi Hum Om Mahum Vajra Guru Manma Siddhi Hum Om Mahum Vajra Guru Manma Siddhi Hum Om Mahum Vajra Guru Manma Siddhi Hum Om Vajra Guru Manma Siddhi Om Mahum Vajra Guru Manma Siddhi Hum Om Mahum Vajra Guru Manma Siddhi Hum. May all minds of all beings know be as wise and peaceful as the mind of a Buddha of law symbolized by a one-syllable seed bija mantra or clay drop. Om Mahum Vajra Guru Manma Siddhi Hum 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 Om Ahum Vajra Guru Manma Siddhi Hum Om Mahum 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 Vajra Guru Manma Siddhi Hum. Welcome to this evening's live stream. If at any point you have a question about Buddhist meditation or Buddhist philosophy, or how to apply them to your life, simply type your question in great detail in the chat window on the right-hand side of the screen. During the inhalation, we silently and mentally recite the first half of the contemplation. During the exhalation, we silently and mentally recite the second half of the contemplation. I receive all the blessings and empowerments of enlightened form, speech, and mind. Benzo Guru Kaya Wakatsita Siddhi Hum Benzo Guru Kaya Wakatsita Siddhi. 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 The Lama dissolves into light and blends with me in our inseparability. I behold the true face of the ultimate Lama, the union of intrinsic awareness and emptiness. We come now to Tikle's second silent meditation, mindfully feeling the play of sensation and meditatively relaxing into its empty nature, thus transcending cravings obstructing emotions. As we inhale, we silently and mentally recite the sensory verb feel, and as we exhale, we silently and mentally recite the 3-syllable verb relaxing. now it's time for Pho'wa's transference of consciousness, as well as Trek Cho's slice through clinging's obscuring emotions. Uh-huh. I pray to thee, protector, Amitabha, bless me that I may master the profound path of Pho'wa. Bam! And now for a bit of the old show's slicing offering. I now give my body wealth and virtuous qualities wholeheartedly to all beings who have been my mothers. I now give my body wealth and virtuous qualities wholeheartedly to all beings who have been my mothers. I now give my body wealth and virtuous qualities wholeheartedly to all beings who have been my mothers. I now give my body wealth and virtuous qualities wholeheartedly to all beings who have been my mothers. Without hindrance may I ensure enormous benefit for all beings. Without hindrance may I ensure enormous benefit for all beings. Without hindrance may I ensure enormous benefit for all beings. If you feel that I have earned it, you could type something in the chat window. You could share this live stream with a friend. You could give this live stream a thumbs up, or you could even help support this channel on Patreon. In approximately 10.5 hours, I intend to return to lead tomorrow's early morning meditation. Until then, may you and yours be happy and healthy. And if you are as geeky as me, this is the